So, being lying, eh? Thinking error 16. You guys are actually very good at this. He's Lucas for some reason. Sexuality. It's according. Good. Warren, you look very excited about the subject? Me too, no worry. But I think a lot of us that are, have you open in prayer? Yes. We need to open in prayer with this situation. I think a lot of us that, especially us that are heavily involved in our addictions, for example, we went all out, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, etc., etc. You can all relate to this. I mean, that's what it's about. When I used to work at the clubs, there's always this thing, always a scene happening. ESP, always a scene, all these different clubs, always a scene, always this undertone of things happening. And now and again we get caught up in these scenarios. We're not supposed to be living in these scenarios. So that's the truth of the matter. And a lot of times it was a bit undercover, and no one really knew about it, but as you got more involved, it became more part of your life, sexuality, because you find that the drugs and the sex or the thing go hand in hand. They tend to amplify. You find genuine prostitution that a lot of times the drugs they use to capture the young ladies or even the guys would be meth and urine because it heightens your sexual prowess. And that's a good word, that prowess. Sexual prowess. Awesome. Yeah, awesome word, not an awesome subject, but let's do it because it's a big part of our lives. And a lot of times we find the secrets that, a lot of our secrets, we're trying to find secrets with the alcohol, secrets with the drugs. A lot of times our secrets are sexual secrets. You notice that if you guys are honest with yourselves. A lot of times your secrets, your 20 secrets have a lot of sexual connotation to it. There's a sexual issue. You can understand something, your enemy, you have an enemy. Not me, not the person, not the monitor. You have an enemy. The enemy is something you don't see. The enemy tries to come at you, and the thing he tries to attack is your sexuality. It's very important to know who you are when it comes to your sexuality. So if your sexuality is being confused, if you've been molested, or you've been taken advantage of, or you don't understand who you are and where you fit in, you find it messes up your identity. And a lot of times you'll find that it's a lot easier to handle that shame about yourself when you're high, when you're drunk, and you're having sex. You find it's a lot easier. So if you look carefully, if you guys have not put down your 20 secrets being on a sexual nature, you find sometimes you're missing it. Because those things bring shame. Shame. You suffer with shame. And that's what this thing is all about. It causes a lot of shame in life. And the only way you feel better is by creating something of pleasure, and you find on the sexual side that the greatest pleasure sometimes, or not all the time, is when you're having sex, or you're busy with something that turns you on, or will give you that burst of pleasure. Alright? And that's a serious subject. Okay, let's do it. Sexuality. He or she his fantasies, or her fantasies, run towards rape-like behavior involving abuse, domination, power, and control. If you look at it lately, that's what it becomes like in the movies. It is a bit more of a power struggle. And it's these movies of the past, when you see them making love, I think it's few and far between. No, soft. It's like, it's intense. Even it is. You laugh at the beginning, but let's be honest, it is it not? Are you laughing because you're agreeing, or you're laughing because you think I'm mad? Who disagrees? Who still does that soft, gentle stuff? Right? You. I'm very impressed. Sean? Really? Soft, gentle guy. Must be the heroine, eh? She relaxed. No, babe, calm down. It's too sore. It's a vibe. Okay, I got it. Understand. Massage. His sexuality is motivated by bending someone to his will through violence, force, intimidation, or manipulation of all kinds. Conquest is essential, and the partner is a possession. You find, especially in a relationship, especially when it's a drugging relationship, when both of you are in full force, you always have a partner where you both use. And the only time you're actually not fighting is having sex. And you find this is what it's about. You each other's possession. You think you love each other, but you don't love each other. It's a possession. You know, if you have a possession in your house and someone takes a possession out your house, it doesn't freak you out. That's why it's such a jealous such a enraged thing with jealousy in it, because you don't see each other when you ought to see each other. You don't see each other as a person, as someone you should love and respect. You see each other as objects. And you find a lot of times those relationships, if not all those relationships, are destructive relationships. At first, when you first meet, everything's fantastic, it's fine, then you get involved with each other and you start using together, and it just becomes quite an intense situation in the bedroom. It does. And then you get here and you think, oh, I love the man, or I love the woman. It's not like it's actually not like at all. And then you actually have got to question yourself and ask yourself, when you are not being intimate, do you still love each other? Are you making a life with each other? Are you growing together? Are you encouraging each other to get over your hurts and hang-ups? Are you? You find many times it's just about sex. Corrective. Eliminate power. Control, conquest, and exploitation, and replace with mutual, dignified, respectful, loyal, interpersonal relationships. Now ask yourself, if you have someone out there that you feel you love, is it possible? Is it possible? Ask yourself the question. The person you've been involved with, or the people you've been involved with, would it be possible for you to have a dignified, respectful, loyal, interpersonal relationship? That's a question you need to ask yourself. If the answer is no, you must rethink that relationship. You need to rethink that relationship, because if you leave and you get back together, everything you've worked on up until now will disappear. It'll be like it never happened. You'll go back quicker than you can say the word Arthur or Martha. You'll be back there and it will just feel like it was a dream. Jericho was a dream, getting recovery was a dream. It will just feel like it wasn't there, and you'll just be using and doing your things. Are you laughing? You're making me blush. What's wrong with you? I'm glad you're being honest. Eliminate stereotypes and learn to view others as whole human beings instead of objects. Consider feelings and rights of others in all interactions. I'm going to go on the subject, but a bit off the subject. I want to show you something. The Christian way, or the biblical way, or the religious way of doing things would be to wait until marriage. Okay. There's a very few of us here, if not any of us here, that are still in that position where you can wait until marriage. We did not wait until marriage, majority of us. But I want to show you something how God views it. If you look at covenants, you heard of a covenant before. You heard of a covenant? What a covenant? It's a covenant can only be done by blood. You see, so when a man and woman come together, what happens? You have to say it, just say it. So you're supposed to be a covenant. So if you keep sleeping around and abusing one another, guess what? There's no covenant. It's gone. It's no covenant. And every time you have sex or you're with someone intimately, you're forming a bond. So if you've slept with more than one person, you have formed a bond with every person that you've slept with. They speak about now that a woman in particular, that if a woman is intimate with certain guys, the DNA of that guy is imprinted on them. Right? So you imagine how it messes a person up. That's why you find generally when people have been molested or sexually assaulted, etc., etc. That's why there's such a mess. They're dealing with not only their own issues, other issues at the same time. That's why it's one of the most important things that when you leave here, unless you're married, that you don't get into a relationship immediately. You wait. Just wait. Not because we're trying to say, no, you can't be in love. No, we're trying to say that you've got to find yourself first. You've got to find yourself first. And it is difficult. I mean, we're designed. We get lonely. We want to be with someone. I mean, majority of the people that leave here, they might not go back into drugging immediately, but they almost find a girlfriend immediately. I'm talking about the guys. I've got about 5 or 6 guys all having kids now. The good news, they're doing well. That's the good news. But I'm glad they're doing well. I like their photos on Facebook. Like. But understand that if you keep doing that, you keep living like that, you're taking away from each other, you're not giving to one another. You fuck that, you're taking away from each other. A relationship, a real relationship, when you're married or when you're in covenant, you're supposed to be giving to one another. It's supposed to be a giving relationship, not a take away relationship. If you look at the sexual way of today, is that you're not giving anymore. You're taking away. Whether you're the woman or the guy, you're taking it away. You want it for yourself. It's not about each other. It's about you. If you're not satisfied. If you look at a guy, for example, if the woman you're with or the guy you're with, ladies, not satisfying you in that manner, do you stay with him? No chance. Not a chance. You move on. You find something that satisfies you. So look at this. You're laughing, but that's truth. It's the truth. You're taking away from one another. It's a thinking error. You're not supposed to be like it. Not supposed to be like it. If you want to talk about true intimacy of marriage, you grow together. You actually grow together. So when you get together, maybe it's not fantastic when you're getting married, but as you learn one another and you learn about one another, you become more and more intimate. You grow together as partners. That's how it's supposed to be. So we're looking for that fix, we're looking for that moment, we're looking for that explosion, we're looking for that feel good about ourselves. But who's it about? It's about you. It's only about you. In marriage, it's about one another. When you love one another, it's about one another. Not about what you can get from one another. That's the difference between the way we live. And when you're on drugs and alcohol and that mentality, it's about getting. Because you're missing something. There's a vacuum. There's something missing inside of you. That's when you run after drugs and alcohol and sleeping around. You're promiscuous. So there's something missing. So every time you have the drugs, you're trying to fill that thing. Right? And you feel good for a moment or two and then it's gone. A moment or two, then it's gone. Or you're drinking. You're trying to suppress. You're trying to fill that thing. You're trying to remove that feeling of emptiness. How much more when you're in a sexual relationship? You're trying to fill that void. That's why you're so intense. That's why you're so hectic. It's depth to the situation. Let me throw something at you that might freak you out a bit. What's the guy's name? Not Charlie Manson. No, that's not that. There's a serial killer. Jeffrey Dahmer. Not Jeffrey Dahmer. I think it might be Charles Manson. Might be Charles Manson. But anyway, one of the serial killers. I'll remember the name later. I'll remind you when I'm in class. Just often remind me. But anyway, the scenario happened like this. Obviously, come from a bit of a background. He and his friend were walking through the byways and highways and the byways in America somewhere. And someone had thrown out their stash of pornography. Huh? So obviously him and his friend, super excited, picks the stuff up, starts going through the magazines, and he speaks about it. I think it could be Charles. And he speaks about it, he says that basically, he used to kill prostitutes in that, and they finally caught he used to kill a lot of the prostitutes, etc., etc. And, can you remember the name? Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay. Jeffrey Dahmer was into the O's, wasn't he? He's into the O's, so it's not implicit. I'll get the name. I'll get the name for you, I can tell you, personally. It's this person. Are you okay? Right, Andrew? Good. Okay. And basically what he said is that it obviously aroused him. It's natural. It's aroused. It's a physical thing. It's a flesh thing, and it arouses your flesh. But what happened over time is that the thing that used to satisfy them in their fantasy wasn't enough anymore. So it went into more, and then more. And it became rape. And after rape, it became rape and murder. And that's how he progressed into a serial killer. You understand? Because he wasn't. His void, the thing that he's filling, that void he was filling wasn't enough for him. So he needed more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And you'll find something as well, for those of us who have been into heavy things, it didn't start off like that. No? It wasn't something that started like that. When you first started, you were very nervous and whatever, and progressed and progresses and progresses and progresses. And one day you meet someone that just really is intense and they introduce something new to you, it just goes on and on and on and on, and that void and that thing is never satisfied. It's like an empty pit. Perhaps alcohol, drugs. I can put alcohol, drugs, and the sexuality issue into the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Because that's what happens when you leave here. You're not going to drink, you're not going to drug, but let me do that, let me do that. See? You don't understand, it's the same thing. You're also trying to fill a void, you're also trying to replace something, you're also trying to fix something, you're also trying to take away from something. And that's why if you get involved with that, it will take you back to the rest of it. It will take you back to the rest of it. That's why we recommend avoid that for a period of time. Fortunately, the guys that I've spoken about, the Ted Bundy. Yes. How do you know that? Joking. Big fan. Understand, makes sense. But do you see that this thinking error and this thing, when you're involved in it, it becomes an empty thing. It'll just get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Until you're just so ashamed you can't ask for help. So if you're involved with this, then ask for help in this situation. Ask for it. It's the perfect place. You're not going to go to your mother or your father or your girlfriend at the time or the boyfriend and say, look, this is what I'm into. They might just boot you. And so this is the time. This is the time. This is the place where you get rid of the shame. Because the shame is what's holding you back. The shame is what's holding you back. Develop sensitivity to the needs of others, Look for mutual fulfillment instead of exploitation and short-term excitement. That's a big thing, eh? That's a big burst. It's a big, excuse the pun. That's a big... you want immediate, you want it now. You understand? That's what it's about. People that are in addiction or dysfunctional behavior, don't look towards that. They want it now. No? They don't want to go through process. Derek spoke about a message about 2 weeks ago, I think, about plan, process, and promise. We don't want to go through a process. This is immediate satisfaction. Those of us that are in addiction, you'll find that we are very ill-disciplined. There are a few of us that have qualifications, but we come to a point that our qualifications mean nothing because we refuse discipline. What does a centre or any centre instill in you if you stay a period of time? Discipline. Maybe not just the discipline of doing your bed, but even the weight before you go home. It takes discipline. To stick to your commitment takes discipline. We think that because we make a commitment to something that the discipline won't, that it will just be smooth sailing. So I decided now to do my commitment here for a period of time and everything to be smooth sailing. But that's what we do. Now I know this because I've seen when people end up in confrontation that everything they've committed to goes out the window. Scripture application. The extreme in the sinking area is the product of a reprobate mind. Your conscience gets seared. Remember the first time you bunk, you got a bit of a head rush, you know what I'm talking about. First time you your friends skip school, you get like a bit of that tingle feeling, you know what I'm talking about. The first time you have drugs, that tingle feeling. The first time you smoke a cigarette, that tingle feeling. And let me tell you something now, I said to someone the other day, you know that tingly feeling, that head rush feeling, you still get today. Who's smokers? Put your hands up. All the smokers, put your hands up. Remember that head rush you get when you smoke? Remember? Yeah. You remember? Yeah. It's gone away, eh? No. It actually hasn't gone away, it's still there. You know that? But did you know that? No, who didn't know that? That you still get the head rush.
I didn't know.
You still get, that's what you get headaches. The head rush is still there. You get used to it. You get numb to it. So every time you're smoking, you're still getting that buzz. You just get used to the buzz. Same as the heroin, and you still get it's just that you're so used to it that it feels like it's not enough. Same as the sex thing, is that you think you need more and more. You're causing a reprobate mind. What counted, what gave you satisfaction, now doesn't give you satisfaction anymore. And you'll keep pursuing until you finally go, whoa. Yeah. Who's had enough? Who's had enough? Have you guys not had enough? Had enough of pursuing and running after something. The satisfaction you need and the fulfillment you need, God can give you. It's there already. It's there already. God can give it to you. It's there. It's you that's refusing. You push it away. You're like, no, not this. You know, you heard about this guy dies one day and he was like the 30th millionth person that pegged it. And there's a special on him in heaven. You know? And he gets to the gate, the pearly gates, and Peter says to him, guess what? He says, that today only I'll let you see heaven, and I'll let you see hell. And you can decide where you want to go. Huh? Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. Isn't that? How cool is that? It's fantastic. So let me see hell first. Yes. He's in like almost like a Las Vegas strip. And he's what do you call this guy's chauffeur opens the door, gets in, and there's this woman in the car. And there's drugs and there's alcohol and stop at a club and they let him in. They're like, he's got cash everywhere. But everything's just fantastic. I mean, and it just goes on and on. But he's standing in front of Peter again. So, ooh, that was nice. Is that now? Let me check out heaven. He gets to heaven and it's just tranquil. I think heaven's a lot more than what I'm describing right now. But I'm just going to show you how that film, that gap, it's tranquil, it's peaceful. You've got a person there, you've got music. Just peaceful. Not much happening, just peace. Peace. People there, you know, just beautiful. And in front of Peter. Peter says, okay. Well, we decided. He says, all due respect. Heaven's beautiful, it's sunny. But hell is fun. It was really the fun. If I'm going to spend somewhere some of the rest of my life, I want to have fun. I want that. And Peter said, you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. Hits his finger. Next minute, he's in these flames. But the flames aren't just over him, they're in him. Every breath he takes, just and it feels like you can't breathe. And it's like just fire everywhere. And just he's burning and he's in pain and he's like freaking out because now, whoa, now he's just overwhelmed that when he sees this figure coming, oh, this is the devil. He says, where's the woman? Where's the car? Where's the clubs? Where's the money? What's it? He says, my friend, that was my marketing department. What do you think about it? Marketing is a very powerful thing in our society today. It makes us believe we need things we don't actually need. The things we need now and the basic needs list we have now is completely different to about 50 or 60 years ago. It flows from the mental stronghold created by lust and uncontrolled passions. Key word here, uncontrolled passions. See, what does the Bible say? The Bible says that He's given us a spirit of self-control. When we're using drugs and we're running after things and we're not sticking to our commitments, what's happening? We have a lack of self-control. The reason you're sitting here today is because of lack of self-control. You went on a Friday night only, right? Only Friday nights. And the next week you're excited about next week Friday, eh? Yeah. And it's Friday, and it's Friday and Saturday, eh? Then it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then it's midweek. Remember a couple of pastors in that time. Remember Rockefellers came out Wednesday evenings, eh? And then Dawes was Tuesday evening. Oh, no. And Dawes Thursday evening. I remember that. It was just every evening was the evening. So then you end up going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Nights. You had Dukes, you had Late Night Owls, you had Bloomer Lake Monday nights. Tuesday night was Dawes and the club. Wednesday night was Rockefellers or Pharaohs. Pharaohs? You know Pharaohs? Pharaohs. Thursday was, check it out, no, check it out. So you go from Friday only. See what happens? See, it's subtle. It comes in, it's just subtle. That's a section. It's subtle. It just comes in. It just got to catch. Once it catches you, you think, okay, not just, no, let's do it tomorrow as well. Okay, let's do it tomorrow and, okay. And then you get to a point where you have no self-control. And what started that? The lust. What started that? Lust. The insatiable desire to feel good. When you look at that person, you feel that being with that person in that manner will make you feel good about yourself. See, it's not that, it's about yourself. And then it becomes uncontrollable. And you find that you, not only tonight, but tomorrow night as well. And the night after. And then what happens is you start disliking yourself. You start hating yourself. And that's why you start lashing out. That's why you start getting more aggressive when you're doing it. That's why you start become more dominating when you do it. It's anger, man. It's anger. Because you're actually angry with yourself for giving yourself away. Gargle. Not just girls. Guys and girls. Guys have it easy in the sense of when a guy's doing it, they're not seen as such bad light as when a girl does it. But it's changed now, by the way. Everybody knows that it's changed now. Yeah. It's changed now. Either way. Society's changing. Sexual disorders often have their origin in various forms of childhood abuse. Often. Not all the time. Not all the time. I mean, at one stage, what I found was, well, it's obvious, but you find most people that are in addiction, they have a broken family. Most. 9 out of 10. But there are that few that mother and father are still together. Now what? Now what do I do now? Oh, okay, it comes from a broken family. No. Sometimes you find is that your perception as a person views different. You see your father, your mother as your father, and it happens sometimes. The mother fulfills the father's role, and the father fulfills the mother's role in your life as a person, through whatever reason, and it's still a broken family. So not all the time, not necessarily. But you have a lot of us here, when I speak to a lot of the guys here, and you find that the sexual issues started from young. Maybe pornography magazines were flying around. Maybe, there's always something. There's something. It comes from, or someone was abusive, the uncle was abusive. So that does come in somewhere. You have, with a lady, for example, if the lady's been molested when younger, she either becomes very frigid, you understand what I mean by frigid? Yeah. That you can't touch. Or she becomes extremely loose. Being a bit mad on it. No, she does. She also becomes promiscuous. Promiscuous, better word? Becomes extremely promiscuous. Becomes very promiscuous. Because that's how she understands love. That's how she gets love. Or she becomes extremely frigid. And the husband will have hell to play when it comes to the bedroom. That's either or. But you generally find it's the former. It's promiscuous. Guys the same way. You'll find that if guys have been introduced to pornography or sexual things from a young age, they also can become extremely promiscuous and loose. They're seeking. They are. So you understand, you need to change your mindset concerning it. Because what happens in society now, society today says it's okay. It's fine. No? Look at our actors. Our actors are fine with it. They have 3 porn stars saying their ass. And it's seen as a no? You have actors, and it's funny how we look up to actors. We've got this, I'm not saying we do, maybe we do. We've got our heroes. We'll be like that person, or be like that person. You look at their background, they go into the Playboy Mansion, or the pornography, the porn star wars. They're there. It's become normal in society. When it was early days, it was taboo. It was not lacquer. You really had to hide stuff away when you were younger. You didn't find it. Now you can go to any town. Any town and find it. Things are changing. So we've been desensitized to it. So you're the only person that can allow God to heal you constantly. Remember, some years you've got a thing called soul ties. Remember I told you, exchange from one another. There's something you can break. You can break it. You don't break it by saying you want to break it and going back to the person when you leave. Yeah. Understand that the Bible's true when it says to you that anything that's been cast out will come back 7 times stronger if you don't care. 7 times stronger. You want to play with it? Go ahead. If you think you're a maniac, now trust me, you get older, trust me, something. You're not a maniac. When you're young, you're strong, and you get older. You know what I mean, Sean? What are you thinking about, Sean? Tell us. Sexual disorders often have their origins in various forms of childhood abuse. Violent or hostile manifestations of this thinking area are often driven by resentment that runs very deep in the personality of the individual. If you're one of the people sitting here that have been abused, think about your sex life right now, when you've had sex. If you're wondering why you lash out or you're aggressive, okay, because it's the resentment. It's coming through. It's coming through in the intercourse. Gender identity disorder involves feeling of dislike for one's own maleness or femaleness. Confusing because you feel one way and you're thinking. Pedophilia is a sexual disorder in which an adult individual derives sexual excitement and gratification from relationships with children. It's big, man. You see it over and over again. You see it over and over again. You see people that are getting locked up for it. It's huge. It's huge. And a lot of people you find don't look like they into that type of thing. That's it. Turns them on. They want that satisfaction. They want that. They want to be satisfied, and that's what satisfies. Sure. That is every day. But understand, you want to keep playing around with the sinking area. Don't think yourself immune to these type of things. They will come. They will come. Because you open the doors, you open yourself up. Self-control and mask gets worse and worse and worse until you need new things to fulfill yourself. So stop it. Pedophilia is a general term used to describe a variety of behavior patterns which a person achieves sexual excitement in response to objects or situations that are outside the normal pattern of sexuality. It takes one of many forms such as fetishism. You have a fetish. Some weird stuff out there. One I always remember is shoes or something. I seen a movie the one day. It was a movie one day. And we laugh. We see the cartoons or cartoons, see the comedy, and you think, that type of thing happens, guys. It actually happens. I start the big Sean. You like shoes, Sean? I think you have to change your position. The use of objects such as hair, undergarments, or other items to produce sexual excitement. Super creepy. We're laughing. I mean, I've had people that I've worked with that have had this issue. That there's a particular thing of your head. You can't wrap your head around it, but you find when we did the counseling that you find that something happened when they were younger, and it grew. Something about denial and coping. Who's doing denial? Borrowed? Have you done denial yet? Let's ask you a question, denial. It says, what coping skills did you use as a child? So you'll ask. Did you know that those coping skills I've said to you don't disappear? So understand, if something's happened to you when you're younger and becomes a part of your life, if you never deal with it, it will grow into something. Let me ask you, do you look like you used to look when you were 5 or 6? Do any of you look like you used to? No. You look, maybe you can see that that's you. But you grew up. Is it still you? That's you. It is still you. But you look different. And if you have a coping skill or coping mechanism, what happens is it grows up. So ask yourself the question, all the issues, sexually, drug, anything, issues with people, Where do you think it came from? Now. No, with you, so that it becomes an adult with you. So your denial, coping skill, becomes denial. Looks like part of you, looks like who you are. It's me, and no one's going to change me. It's who I am. No, it was it was like a puppy. You fed it, and you made it nice, that's a part of you.
Well, can I ask something?
No, please don't. No. You can ask me later, not now. I'm trying to get 15 more minutes to go. I remember transvestism, cross-dressing. I remember there's a band many years ago, Transvision Band. And I remember Transvision Band. You remember Transvision Band? Anybody remember Transvision Band? No. Tracy, do you remember Transvision Band? I thought they called us. And then we were going around, there's extra transvestites. There was a whole vibe with it. She wasn't, by the way. It was a real deal. But cross-dressing, you just cross-dress. The guy would dress up a girl and a guy. And I remember Nobrega knows about the wedding. He told me there was a champion in Joburg. And he says he'll never forget as long as he lives. He was at this bar, at this gay club. And he said this huge guy, man, huge, like big and hair everywhere. And he had a tutu on. And a pink tutu. And he's never forgotten it. I was 46, 47, 18, 19. Yeah, pink tutu on. So I think the cross-dress is a bit more. Yeah, can you imagine his hair pushing out? No, but I suppose when it comes to really big fetishism, two heavy guys with tutus. Exhibitionism, habitual exposure of one's genitals. This one here, frotteurism, the act of fantasy of touching a non-consenting partner to achieve sexual excitement. You understand that? So it's basically, I suppose people in clubs will do it. Close.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Oops. It's true, so be careful. So next time someone bumps you, it's not actually he's doing it on purpose. So don't go with it anymore. Go to a club one day. Touch me. Voyeurism, watching unsuspecting people who are naked, disrobing or engaging in sex. Sexual masochism, seeking sexual satisfaction by using pain, bondage, or humiliation. I find a lot of times, especially in addiction, meth, you start going down with it. Sexual sadism, sexual excitement by inflicting pain on another person. These physical manifestations of the sinking error are highly complex and must be processed with a faith, relationship, context. It's heavy, it's bondage, it's funny. You look at these things and maybe some of you are into these type of things or something else, but it's a bondage, it's a stronghold. It's a stronghold. And the people that are involved in this thing, they get to a point where they just go, that's who I am. That's what you get to a point. That's just who I am. And they live, they hate themselves. It's self-hate. These physical manifestations of the sinking are highly complex and must be processed with face, relation, context. James 1:13-16 says, let no man say when he is tempted, let no man or woman say that when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempteth he any man, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away by his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it brings forth sin. See the process? It's talking process here. Your desire, your lust for something, it's a process. So once you take it, you sow the seed in yourself, and it starts bearing fruit. It becomes a part of who you are, but it's not you. It's not you. If you allow the faith that you can take it out, you can take the tree out of you. You allow stuff to grow in your heart. When you're young, it's a bit difficult to say no thank you. But at our age, every one of us have the ability now to take it out, to fix it. Every one of us here. It says here, then when lust is conceived, it brings forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, brings forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. The flesh, all of the wrong ways we think and act, the garbage of our past experiences, continuing evil experiences, is strong. It is susceptible to the lust of the eye through enticement. When the flesh takes the bait, the sin is conceived. When the flesh takes the bait. See, a lot of times we are living, our flesh is in control. Especially in addiction. All of us sitting here, the reason you're in addiction is because you allow the flesh to be in control. You try hard to fight it with your soul, your sides, with your flesh. You need to allow your spirit to take control because your spirit doesn't want it. When the flesh takes a bait, the sin is conceived. When the sin is fully matured, it ushers in death. Can you imagine, like usher? That's what they're saying. You conceive, it's saying, you usher, it ushers in. So the more you do it, and the more you carry on, you get away with it. I remember when I was younger, I get away with everything. No, it was, I got a cops, it's got away with everything. As I got older, and I kept going back to it, and I wasn't listening, it was like God said to me enough. And literally, it was like, I started getting pulled over, and I got pulled over. I started getting conned. They tried to con me, and they got huge fights. Stupid fights. Madness. Huge fights in the sense of taking on the wrong people. No? And the cops come in, want to take a knife away, and all kinds of stuff. But I remember that never used to happen when I was younger. I was always getting away with it. I was always never getting pulled over for driving. Be hammered, drive past, nothing. Only towards the end. So it starts growing and growing, and then the thing starts happening. With guns in your face. And there are 60 manifestations of the flesh in Galatians 5:19-21. Now pay attention. These are things. If you are doing these things, no matter how you see it, you're feeding the flesh. You're feeding the flesh. If you keep feeding the flesh, the stronger it will be. Feed the spirit will be stronger. Then you have the job of renewing your mind. You must change the way you think. What do you have to do? You have to change the way you think. You have to change the way you handle a situation and things come at you. So whatever comes at you, you are the one that must decide how you handle it. If every time you choose the right way, you strengthen yourself in that way. So when it comes again and again and again, you have to become a principle-based person, no matter what the circumstance. You have to. You have to. If you think because the situation calls for it or no, you have to be a principle-based person. It doesn't matter who's wrong. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you now, it doesn't matter who's wrong. You need to understand your recovery is more important than who's right and who's wrong. Your recovery is more important. But some of you don't get that. It's arrogance, man. It's pride. It's disrespect. You can't live there and think you're going to recover. I don't care how clever you are. I don't care how sharp you are. You want to sit in a classroom and be respectful through your behavior? It's not going to change your life. I don't care who you are. You need to understand that we need to be principle-based. We need to. All of us here say we want to change our lives. What are you willing to do to change your life? What are you willing to do? You want to be, what's it, meatloaf? I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Yeah.
It says love bears all things, believes all things. The first four are sexuality, adultery. First four, adultery, sexual unfaithfulness, fornication, sexual perversion, including masturbation and homosexuality, uncleanness and any moral impurity, lasciviousness, indecency, and moral impurity. God warns that those who habitually continue in these manifestations of the flesh will not inherit the kingdom of God. Will not inherit the kingdom of God. Will not. You cannot. And they go, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, let me show you. There's a kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is God's way of doing things and being one. You cannot live according to God's kingdom if you practice. You cannot live the way God wants you to live if you're practicing these things. That's what you want to say. You want to inherit the kingdom of God. You will not be able to do what God wants you to do. There are serious consequences for this type of thinking, so I gave them up to their own hearts, lust, and they walked in their own counsel. Sounds like Romans chapter 1, doesn't it? Romans chapter 1 was heavy. I was in a situation many years ago, and I remember reading it. Almost, if I could, I would throw the Bible out the window. I was in a plane, so I was stuck with the Bible. There are other consequences from whence come wars fighting among you, even of your own lust that war in your members. You lust and have not. You kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you have not because you ask not. Conflicts, quarrels, disputes, fights. Conflicts, quarrels, disputes, fights, and wars come from the evil desires that battle within us. So if you're arguing and quarreling and disputing and fighting, it tells you it's the evil desires that battle inside of us. They come from inner sensual lust or pleasures. How do you handle lust? You flee from it. You do not entertain it, you do not feed it. The Bible calls it foolish and hurtful lust. 1 Timothy 6:9, for a good reason, a person can drown in this seeking error. This sexual thinking will make a fool of you, hurt you, goes around you, and will eventually destroy you. In Ephesians 4:22, this lust is identified as being deceitful. Deceitful. It will drive you to do things nothing else could ever get you to do. Right? How do you handle the sinking error? According to 1 Corinthians 9:27, you must bring it into subjection. If you do not, your behavior will cause you to become a castaway. Attack the stronghold without mercy. Have no mercy on us. However, you are fighting a losing battle against the stronghold if you try to bring it into captivity apart from the authority of Christ. First, you confess it to Him. Second, you surrender it all. You give up your claim to it. Third, you take authority over it in the name of Jesus Christ. Fourth, you renew your mind by the washing of the water of the Word of God. That's what you're doing now. You're renewing your mind. You need to renew your mind. Out of all the sins in the Bible, every sin that you can commit, every other sin, He says stand up against it. He says fight it. Every other sin. But when it comes to sexual immorality, He says run. No, thank you. And He says get. Don't stand in the same room. Get away from it. Move away from it. He says run from it. The only sin He tells you to run. He doesn't tell you to fight it. Every other sin He tells you to fight. Stand up against it. Don't do it the other bit. When it comes to sexual sin or sexual immorality or unfaith, He says run away from it. For example, if I'm a CEO of a company and I have a secretary and so she's flirting with me, He's actually telling me that situation I must get away from it. He doesn't try, no, He says you must run. You must run. If you don't run, you'll get into it. Who's heard of Dr. Caroline Leaf? Heard of Dr. Caroline Leaf? The brain specialist. I think I've mentioned this before, maybe Oliver remembers, but she speaks about this. If you're a man and a woman, even if at first you're not into each other, you're not in, like you just, if you keep exchanging, that a relationship can be formed. Did you know that? Did you know that? Get the issue of that. So if you're a married person and you keep exchanging with someone on a non-professional level, for example, if I have a secretary, and I don't just use it for secretary work, but I talked about everything else about my home life, and you will form a bond. And it says once that bond is filled, she says within 6 months you'll have sex. Because your chemical, that feeling you have when you love, your brain produces that chemical. So if your brain gets to a certain thing and you get that overwhelming feeling that you love, that your brain produces that. Because that feeling disappears. And when that feeling disappears, the thing is, do you really love that person? Remove the feeling, do you really love that person? Close your eyes. Father God, I thank You for this opportunity given to speak about this thing that I know that comes against every one of us, Lord. A lot bigger, a lot greater than drugs and alcohol, Lord, because it's something that can start from a young age. Temptation, lust, desire. We thank You, Lord, that you help us by Your Spirit, Lord, to see things what they are and make good decisions when these things come our way. In Jesus' name.